This is a sealed new in-box iPod mini from 2004. It has been in its original packaging for 19 years. That is truly incredible. This is the oldest Apple device that I will have unboxed on the channel to date, and I'm super excited because even though the iPod mini doesn't have the same cachet as the big ones, the original iMac, the original iPod, and the original iPhone, this was still a surprisingly revolutionary iPod when it came out. Released in January of 2004, this is the fourth iPod, and it is the first time that the iPod design deviated from the original. But the big thing that this iPod introduced was the click wheel. The original iPod used a physically rotating scroll wheel on ball bearings, and it had buttons surrounding it. But the iPod 2G and 3G had a touch-sensitive wheel, so it was kind of like a trackpad. But what made this one interesting is they moved the buttons inboard, and you can now click the wheel itself. That's where we get the name Click Wheel, and it was undeniably a massive success, appearing on almost every other iPod during the mid-2000s. That is, of course, until the iPod Touch came along. Now, this particular iPod mini, as evidenced by the serial number here, was manufactured in 2005, and it has a smaller box. And I do really like this box. We have the actual size of the iPod mini on the front. It has this belt clip, which I really hope is going to be included here. On the back here, we just see 4 gigabytes, 1,000 songs, PC and Mac. And over here, there's one of the most interesting things that I've ever read on a piece of Apple packaging. It says, like a fine pair of jeans, iPod mini colors may vary and may change over time. Not really sure what that means. This was actually the first iPod to come in multiple colors. I do wish that I had been able to find one in like green or blue. I think that would have been just a bit cooler. Now, another really interesting thing that I noticed about this iPod is that it says personalized iPod. So I think it's engraved, and I'm really curious to see what it is engraved with. But that's one of the reasons why this wasn't super expensive. No collector is going to pay a fortune for an engraved Apple device. But I'm not going to complain. This is still a sealed iPod mini, at least for about the next 5 seconds, because the time has come for us to break the seal. Oh man, there we go. The seal is now broken. All the value is evaporating. But before we get into it, I do have to get a quick word from today's video sponsor. It's Casecoo, the makers of the innovative Magic Stand case. This is a pretty neat combination of a MagSafe compatible charging case and a kickstand case, because the magnetic ring flips out from the back of the phone, allowing you to prop it up in both portrait and landscape orientations. That dual functionality means you kind of get the best of both worlds, and because it has a raised lip around the camera housing and the front of the display, you're getting some great drop protection as well. It comes in a wide range of colors to complement the finishes of your iPhone 14 series, and Casecoo is now accepting Klarna at checkout to make things even easier for you guys. If all that sounds almost as exciting as unboxing a sealed iPod mini from 2004, then definitely check out the link in the description below where you can snag yourself a cool 10% discount. Now let's head back to the video. So I'm not actually sure how to unbox this thing. It looks like it just slides out. Oh, it does. Look at that. Oh, brand new. Look, there's even a sticker here sealing in the inner box. So now we do have a challenge, which is we got to get into this seal without damaging it or ripping the paper. So I'm going to grab my iFixit spudger here. Oh, this works really well, actually. Okay, guys, here comes the moment of truth. Designed by Apple in California, let's take a look at this iPod mini for the first time. Oh, look at that! Front and center, don't steal music. This iPod came out right during the peak of MP3 music piracy. You have to remember that the iTunes store was less than 2 years old at this point, and so most of the MP3 files that people were loading on their iPods were burned from CDs or were pirated. So this is Apple's attempt to stop you from pirating music. It was not successful. Oh, it is engraved. I guess the person I bought this from works for Meriwest, and that is actually quite unusual because this looks like an actual company logo, which Apple stopped engraving on Apple products a little while ago. I think now you can only get emojis and text. So we do have a couple of icons here on top. We've got our headphones and our charging cord, and I honestly don't really know what that icon signifies, so let's go ahead and open it up and find out. Oh, it's a CD. I'm dumb. That's our software, which we have to install before we plug in the iPod. Oh, we've got a whole little booklet in here. It says, enjoy. Carefully peel off that tiny little sticker. Adhesive is nice and soft yet again, fortunately. And let's see what we have inside our Apple booklet. Look at that, our getting started guide. And here is our software install CD. Installed before connecting iPod. We are reminded yet again. Look at that, brand new, never used. That is so cool to see. We have our brand new Apple stickers. Oh, and we have some free music for our iPod. Every week we can get the free single of the week featured on the iTunes Music Store, and all other songs are just 99 cents each. That is so cool. This is from the very, very early days of the iTunes Store. Now, to get started with Macintosh, we need built-in high-power USB 2.0, or we need built-in FireWire and the optional iPod dock connector to FireWire cable. This iPod was actually the first one that could use both USB and FireWire for charging. Previous ones were only able to charge with a FireWire port. All right, so let's take a look at our accessories on the other side. And my goodness, they're just kind of stuffed in there, aren't they? Okay, what do we have here? This is our, oh, yes! We have the belt clip, and it's in its original packaging. Oh, that's so cool. Look at that. And we have our USB 2.0 dock connector. This does not look or feel like the later dock connectors that you would probably be used to with iOS devices. And then the only other thing we get here is our classic Apple headphones, which also come with foam pads. That's interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen those before. Are those for like putting on the actual speaker grills? So that is everything that comes in the box with our brand new iPod mini. Honestly, seeing the new accessories is almost just as cool as seeing the brand new iPod itself. Now, this thing is surprisingly heavy, and that's because there's actually a tiny 4GB hard drive in here, if you can believe it. It wasn't until the following year, 2005, that the iPod Nano came out and was immediately significantly smaller than the iPod mini, and it also had flash storage. Now, this is the part that makes me somewhat nervous. We got to figure out if this iPod still works after 20 years in a box. The only way to find out is to try, so let's get it open. Oh, look at that. Brand new iPod mini, 19 years old, being touched for the first time. Got another peel here on the click wheel. Oh, that is really something to behold. It is absolutely perfect and beautiful. So I've got my 2002 PowerBook G4 Titanium. We've got Tiger running on here, and this has iTunes 4.7.1. So this is completely period accurate, the iTunes version that you would have used with this iPod when it was new. Now I'm going to be using a more modern dock connector because I don't want to unwrap our brand new one here. Oh, I almost forgot. We have to install our software before we plug in and turn on the iPod. So I actually don't know what's going to be on this disc. And there it is, iPod CD. So it looks like it has user guides. There's iPod mini user guide. Interestingly enough, this one actually came with iTunes 4.9 on this CD. Let's see if we can get away with just installing iPod .mpackage. Ooh. So this software works with a whole variety of different iPods. Let's hit continue here, continue. All right, our software was successfully installed. I think we are now ready. All right, let's plug in the iPod. Okay, moment of truth here. We are now connected to power. Dang, nothing is on screen yet. Let's try switching our hold button a couple of times. Jeez, I don't know, guys. 19 years is a long time for such a little tiny battery. Just to verify that we have a good cable, let's try our iPod Nano here. And yeah, right away that comes up. All right, I'm not going to give up just yet. I've got a FireWire connection here. We're going to try that. Oh my gosh. It worked. Oh my gosh, the Apple logo showed up. I saw the screen backlight come on. Oh, guys, I was sweating. It's working. 19 years. Listen to those clicks. Wow. Look at that. I'm going through the menu. It's charging. The backlight is working. Oh, it looks so good. I'm unbelievably stoked that this iPod is working, so let's go ahead and let it charge for a little bit, and then we'll try to get some music on here and play around with it. So incredibly, after 19 years in a box, the iPod holds a charge. That is unbelievable. And I did also grab iTunes 4.9, which was on the iPod CD, because I'm, for some reason, not so far able to get the iPod to show up here. I'm not really sure why. Okay, I've plugged in USB, and now I'm getting a do not disconnect. Oh, and there it is. Oh, yes, it's working. But remember, this is all updating it with the software that shipped in the box, because I'm not even connected to Wi-Fi. So the iPod's now installing the software update that came bundled inside the box. Okay, the iPod is back on, and we have the setup assistant on screen. The first time setup of a 19-year-old iPod. Oh my gosh. This is so cool. Okay, here we go. Not connecting to the music store yet. We don't have internet. Okay, and here we go. It's copying all of my royalty-free music to the iPod. Oh, the iPod update is complete. Let's go ahead and eject it. And now we can unplug the iPod mini. Look at that. Okay, and let's see if we can play a little bit of music for the first time on our iPod. It's working! Oh, it sounds pretty good. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, I'm really happy right now. This has been such a fun video. Oh my god. I wasn't expecting to have this much fun with just an iPod. It's not even that cool. It's not like the original iPhone or anything like that, but it doesn't need to be. It's a 19-year-old iPod playing its first ever song. That's crazy. Oh, I love doing these types of videos. I don't even know what it was that was so exciting to me about this iPod, but it was just so much fun to play with. The fact that absolutely everything on this works perfectly, and I got to play solitaire, and I got to play iPod Brick like the old days. I even pulled out the belt clip. This thing was just so much fun. And I know every time I make a video like this, people comment down below and they say, oh, hey, you should have left that seal that keeps all the value. But the real value to me is being able to get this untouched, brand new experience with the product and actually use it and interact with it. I think it's so silly that people buy these things for $40,000 and just look at them. What makes it really special is getting that 2004 unboxing experience in 2023. So thank you guys for helping me make this a really special unboxing. I will see you in the next one.